You found the Live Local Marketing Podcast, where business owners share their knowledge about what's working in the market today. No fluff, just their experiences and stories from people who are making it happen. And if authentic, practical marketing resonates with you, be sure to visit livelocalwarmmarketing.com and learn to grow your business on warm marketing referrals. Now, on to the show. Welcome. Thanks for joining us here again today. We are with Lynn Whitbeck. Lynn, how are you feeling today?
I am doing absolutely fantastic, Billy, and I'm so glad to be here with you.
That is wonderful. Here we go. We're going to get right to it. You tuned into the Live Local Marketing Podcast, where business owners share their knowledge about what's working in the market today. There's no fluff. There's no extra. It's just the experiences and the stories from the people who are out there making it happen, getting their hands dirty like Lynn. A little bit about her before we get rolling. She's got more than 30 years experience in the B2B executive sales and business development, over a decade in sales consulting. Lynn's strengths lie in building deep relationships, which we love here at Live Local, elevating personal and team sales performance, and empowering strong sales leadership. Wisdom, consulting experiences expand across the entire B2B industry. So it's going to be for everybody here today. And anyone who appreciates first-class relationships will be captivated. I'm sure we're going to. So let's get right to it. Remember, we have our 7 topics. I'm going to ask away as we go. Let Lynn answer and partake all of her knowledge upon us. Lynn, you ready?
You betcha.
Okay, Lynn, as an entrepreneur, you've been at this for a minute or two. What would you consider your first win to be?
You know, I'm going to go way back in time. My first win was as a Girl Scout selling cookies. And
What?
that was,
That's
yes, because I wanted to earn this very coveted cookie badge. I mean, you had to sell a truckload of cookies to get this badge. And so the very first day there, I was out with my very best friend who was super shy and introverted with my little red wagon pulling those cookies. And I discovered 3 challenges. First of all, pulling a wagon full of cookies was not easy. Second, my friend Judy was so shy, she wouldn't leave the wagon. Third, not everybody was home or not everybody bought. Yeah. I was despondent. And my dad at dinner that night, he just said, "Lynn, where do people buy their cookies?" And I went, "The grocery store." Bam. The next day, I was at the grocery store. I was where my clients were at, right? I was out front like the Walmart greeter, bringing them to the table. Judy played to her strength. She took their money, gave them their cookies. We did that every day because we created a consistent and repeatable process. And you know what? At the end of Girl Scout cookie season, Judy and I were the only 2 girls in our district to win that coveted cookie badge and the youngest 2 girls in the state that year. So there you go. First win in sales because I was selling something I loved for an organization I loved. Sales is joyful when you love your product and service, you love the impact that you create for your clients, and the organization stands behind you and is fabulous to work with and for.
Off topic, what's your favorite flavor? You eat the cookies, right?
Yeah. Still do? I mean, I still buy cookies every time. Never pass a Girl Scout table without buying cookies. I really like the peanut butter cookies. I like the samosas, sugar bread. Okay, I like them all.
All right, cool. All right, so as we keep going here today, what is your best habit as an entrepreneur?
Follow up.
Okay.
Yeah, if you do not follow up, you are basically giving up your sales to your competitors.
Yes.
You're giving up the introductions to your competitors. And it doesn't matter where you're at. If you've just met somebody at networking, following up, making that connection, building the relationship, and then nurturing it along the way. What can you give? How can you give value? What other introductions can you make for them? And then checking in. And checking in where you're not just doing the lame old, "Oh, hi, this is Lynn. I'm calling to check in." Please don't do that. How do you lead with value? Why would it matter to them? And that happens all the way through the sales. I close most of my sales. 90% of my sales are closed based on follow-up because not everyone is ready to buy right out of the gate. In fact, most people are not. So you have to have a follow-up strategy. And then you have to be able to mix and match based on who that person is, what they want, need, or lack, why it matters to them, so they can what. Every prospect, every client has different things. And they may never become a purchaser, but it could become a raving fan where they're making introductions for you. So always think about how can I build that relationship, and follow-up is the number one thing that you can do. So that is my very best habit, is doing the follow-up.
So over 30 years, the system you use to follow up has probably changed dramatically. What are you currently using to make consistency?
The key is to have a plan. You need to have
Okay.
a plan. So you take a look at all the marketing assets that you have, all the things that you put your sales assets, sales and marketing,
Yeah.
and you say, okay, now where do they fall? When can I deliver this, like this article or this interview
Got it.
or this little snippet? And so how can you add value all along the journey? And you lead with that value. I actually still pretty much use the same follow-up techniques that I've been using since Moby
Wow.
Dick was a minnow or dinosaurs roamed the earth.
You probably started with a Rolodex. Is that what
Yeah,
you started with?
yeah, I actually did.
Yeah.
I finally got
Yeah.
rid of all of them. Yeah, and the business cards
Nice.
and all the stuff.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Younger groups gonna have to Google that. We don't have time. Google Rolodex. You'll know what it is. Just look back. Trust us. So when you sit down with all these businesses and you talk to them about branding, how does that discussion look? What are some of the key concepts you discuss with them? A quick break before we get to that next answer, because I know that answer is going to be brilliant, which is why I chose this moment to interrupt. If you love what you're seeing and you want to run your business off of warm marketing referrals, visit our website, livelocalwarmmarketing.com. It's got valuable resources, office hours, memberships, the book, an array of resources to help you get rid of cold calls, cold leads, door knocking, and run a business you can be proud of through referrals and warm marketing. Now, back to the show.
So, here's a difference between sales and marketing. I'm a sales consultant, I'm a sales expert. So, with the brand, one of the key things I always focus on is what is your business? What do you do? How do you help and serve your clients? What's the impact that you create? Who are you as a business owner, and if I'm working with a team, how do you like to approach things? What feels right for you? And then really it's all about your ideal client. Who are they? What do they want, need, or lack? Why does it matter to them so they can what? And what are the big motivations and emotions that are wrapped up in getting to that solution, getting that problem solved, getting that dream, getting that goal achieved? So when we really focus on the so they can, because that's what people are buying. They're buying the so they can. So I got it right here. Nobody buys an iPhone to make a phone call.
No,
Nada,
no.
nobody. So what is it that they really want? Is it because they're really focused on the video storage? They want the latest and greatest. They want to do all those fancy pictures. Do they want to have enough storage to have 1,000 apps? What is it that there's their primary motivator? And what are the emotions wrapped up in there? Like they want to have the video so they can be recording these amazing videos of their children as they're growing up. Well, bammo, now we've got that and we can really lean into that in the conversation. But really identifying that also helps you build out the brand story. And so what is it in your essence that speaks to that ideal client that's going to make sense and connect the dots? Because stories are the most effective thing that you can use in your sales and your marketing.
That's excellent. So, all right. So you've been doing this for quite some time. You've got all the different strategies. You got the techniques. What are some of the things you've done over the years? Because I can assume pace has picked up with technology and so forth. What are some of the things you do to kind of relax, to kind of, reflect, to kind of recharge?
So, so there's two different things. There's both in business. So in business, I do what I call CEO days. I
Oh,
schedule in follow-up and I block my calendar for follow-up. I block my calendar to be doing other sales activities that will ring the cash register, right? Sales and marketing, whether a marketing activity will ring the cash register, not short term, but longer term, right? And then I also block out time so that in my personal life, that pretty much at the end of the business day, when I walk away from the computer, I walk away. If something's urgent and I notice it on my phone, and I really feel like I have to respond, I will. But in general, I just sort of turn that part off and I keep those boundaries. But in sales, you have that flexibility, because if something's urgent, my clients always come first, and knowing that, well, all right, family comes first, but they're really hard second,
yes,
right?
yes, yes, yes,
So
yes.
there are times where there's things that, okay, this is urgent and I'm going to interrupt what I'm doing and I'm going to go take care of it. Or I'm going to at
Mhm.
least let them know that I've heard them, I've seen them,
Oh,
and
yeah,
I will
good.
take care of it first thing in the morning. Sometimes just letting them know, hey, I got you. I'm going to be on this first thing in the morning and I'll have an update for you by 10 a.m. Now they're at peace and they go, she's got me. She's got this
Yeah,
covered. I did this all through my corporate career as well. I mean, this is so important so that people then feel like, okay, she's got my back.
yeah. Communication. It's
Yeah.
all communication.
Yeah,
So I'm curious
absolutely.
with that communication, does that roll over? Are you a weekends and holidays type of worker too, or do you take those off and just communicate?
It really depends on, once again,
Okay,
on what's sort of going
got it.
on. So sometimes I'll use like a set holiday for CEO time,
Got it. Got it.
or like some admin work, and I can have music on, or I have Scooby Doo playing.
Yes.
I'm a big Scooby
Yes.
fan, and I can just have that, but I'm still, doing some admin stuff that doesn't take a lot of brain power, but it just needs to be done. I mean, as we're
Yeah.
approaching, the frickin' tax season, I always have everything. I'm very process driven, but there's still stuff I have to take care of,
Yes.
for specifically my mom, because it's just
Yeah.
just she's 88. It's really hard for her to get into the groove of certain things, so I'm always playing catch up with her to get all of her taxes done and ready.
Yeah, that makes sense. You do a great job. It sounds like setting your boundaries and setting your calendar, and it probably leads to much less stress.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, of all the strategies you've learned over the years and have worked for you, what right now is your favorite marketing strategy? A quick break before we get to that next answer, because I know that answer is going to be brilliant, which is why I chose this moment to interrupt. If you love what you're seeing and you want to run your business off of warm marketing referrals, visit our website, livelocalwarmmarketing.com. It's got valuable resources, office hours, memberships, the book, an array of resources to help you get rid of cold calls, cold leads, door knocking, and run a business you can be proud of through referrals and warm marketing. Now, back to the show.
From marketing, it's email marketing. Email marketing still
Okay.
has a really high engagement, usually
Okay.
24% or better, as long as you're writing infotaining content.
Yeah.
It speaks to the what you do, the value that you're providing. You deliver value with every email, but you also wrap it in stories and you make it fun and frothy, and so there's so many different ways that you can do that. I've had people respond to my emails like, "I laughed so hard, when I read this email." I mean, so the thing is it's that ongoing engagement. And thing that people think is that emailing more often is actually, as long as you're providing value and it's infotaining, that people actually want to open and read your emails, um, you are actually will get higher open rates and higher engagement and less reporting as spam. When you don't email people very often, they forget about you. And then they see this random email and they, report it as spam. So there's a couple of things about email that best practices: welcome people into your email when they opt into a lead magnet. They should be welcomed to your community. Why are they there? What are they going to get out of this? I go through a pretty rigorous onboarding process. The only way you get on my list is by opting in. I don't put people on my list, which I loathe and abominate. So they have to opt in to be on my list. I welcome them in through the lead magnet, whatever they got, why they wanted it, why it matters, some bonus things that will help them, and then welcoming them to my joyful sales community, why they want to be there. And so
I'm
when
so
you
hold
do
on. I'm
that,
sorry. We lost you there for a second. I don't know what
oh,
happened.
oh,
I think we had like a power surge or something here. I'm sorry.
it's all good. I'm just saying that if you welcome them, and that also eliminates people then unsubscribing, because
Yeah.
they want to be there. I literally give people 6 chances to unsubscribe from my list. And anybody who wants off, great. They wanted the free thing, they got the free thing. But the people who want to be there, my unsubscribe rate is some fraction of 1%. And
Nice,
there's a
because it's always
reason for
value-added.
that. It's the
Mhm.
consistency, it's delivering value, making it infotaining, and welcoming them.
Do you ever do like workshops or anything to teach people how to write an entertaining email or anything?
I have
No?
done those before.
Nice.
So it's, I don't do a lot of workshops. A lot of my work is really tied up with my private clients and then with my group
Yeah.
programs.
Make sure. All right, cool. If you ever do, let me know. I'd love to
Okay.
know how to do a more entertaining email and get my open rates higher. Awesome. So let's pivot a little bit. So when I use the term or describe the term useful data or useful information to you, what does that term mean?
So we're talking about email. Let's keep talking about email.
Absolutely.
Open rates on email are really not your best indicator because some email
Mm,
platforms, when you're whatever you're
um,
using, you literally have to click on the email to delete the email. So you've officially opened it, right? I mean, some of them will actually click it like it turns from black to gray, like you've opened it, but you didn't really open it. You just clicked
yeah.
on it to delete it.
Yeah.
So open rates can be deceptive, but your engagement, that's what's important. How many people are actually responding to your emails? How many
Yeah.
people are clicking through? How many people are booking, like for me, strategy sessions with me? Um, if I'm offering something that they can download, are they actually going through and getting that free tool? Sometimes I put things together. I put together a networking worksheet recently, and it was free if you wanted to click and download it. So one of the things is you can look through all of those stats, and those are important. And then looking if you've got any obviously your unsubscribe rates or any kind of spam reporting. So those are the things that you want to be looking at because you want to have a really robust email list. The other thing is if people are not engaging with your emails at all, you're going to want to pull those people aside into like a smart list, depending on what
Yeah.
ESP or your
Yeah.
email service provider. And
Yeah.
then you're going to re-engagement campaign. And if they want to stay on their list, they have to
Right.
respond in some way because having a list with a high open rate, I mean, really people engaging with it, keeps you out of the spam and the junk folder dungeon in the world. So really paying attention to that. And I would recommend doing that at least twice a year. So
Okay.
so all my data was around email.
No, no, it's fine. And that was my follow-up question was going to be like, how often do you do it? You do it twice a year. And so you decide and you take a look
Yeah.
through. Is that correct? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
some
that's pretty
people
good
will do
advice.
it quarterly, but honestly, twice a year is about as much as I can get done.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right, cool. So let's one more time shift gears before we get to the outro and talk about your business. So let's say we have some folks that are getting into it. They're starting to do some of the things you're talking about. They're starting to get open rates. How would you explain to them, or how would you help them build some confidence in what they're doing?
Okay, so with email marketing specifically, I mean, when you think about your sales, once again, you go back to who is your ideal client. You really need to understand your ideal client and the love language around that ideal client. So this is what I mean. Almost all of us, we have people we've worked with. And if you haven't been getting testimonials from them, well, get started
Oh,
doing that.
yeah.
So I literally use it like an exit interview because I do expect people to graduate. We've got their whole sales strategy built and they're flying through it and it's working great. So we do an interview after the end that one of my team members does, and we go through the arc. What was happening before they were working with me? What was the problem? What was the catalyst that made them decide they had to get some help? Why did they decide to start working with me? What was the experience like? What were those first wins? And what have been the
Hmm.
long-term results? So I've got the whole story arc and I've
Story
got
arc. That's
their
cool.
language describing it. Now, when you do that with multiple people, you need at least 7. Now, what you've got is you've actually got content that you can analyze with AI tools. You need to watch it like a hawk so it doesn't invent stuff, but you can pull out
Right.
from there
Yeah.
the love language of your clients. What's really going on? How can you better attract them? What are they really seeking? What are they looking for? What are the words they use? And when you do that,
Wow.
magic happens. And this isn't all you apply this to all your marketing. So, and you can also pull it from reviews that you've had, depending on the type of business that you have. So that you really gather that information.
So basically, you're taking the entrepreneur story and the reviews to help them create their own clients. Is
Yeah,
that oh
exactly.
wow,
You're creating
that's
a
cool.
really rock solid ideal client profile
That's fascinating.
with their
I could probably
language.
talk. Yeah, I could. Yeah, that is such a cool thing. I got to start doing that. Actually, I never ever would have thought of that. I got to start doing my reflection on data and using it, not just data, but the story, which is
Yeah.
synonymous with the data, to do that. That is fascinating. All right, so let's talk about your business. So you get to do the outro, talk about your business a little bit and some of the things you like to do and some of the services you provide, and then where can people get a hold of you?
Yeah. So really, if you want a consistent, repeatable, and scalable sales process, then you should really give me a call. We should talk.
Yes. Nice.
And
Right to it.
there's a couple different ways that people can work with me. I have a private client program, and then I have a group program. And if this is something that you're remotely interested in, I would recommend you go get my sales strategy checklist. That's the easiest way you're going to get on my email list. That sales strategy checklist is going to let you identify where you might have gaps, maybe huge holes of what you're doing really well, so that it's really quick and you can go through that and you can say, okay, there's some things that I need to be doing in my sales that I haven't been doing. And so that's a great place to start. And you get that on our website at petite2queen.com/checklist.
Nice. We'll put that in the description as well. That is wonderful. Thank you for your time today. And thank you for your patience. We had a little power surge here today. So your information was too much. Like the house just kind of like power surge. You're just too much energy. So I appreciate you sticking in there with that. And then be sure you check out the website, get more information, and so you can help you tell your entrepreneur story, which will reflect into more closings, more leads, more people. Thank you for your time today.